This week on Performance Anxiety, we welcome singer, songwriter, and Canadian Aimee Dorval. We talk about her new album, Between the Walls and the Window, her time winning the Canadian version of Star Search. We also talk about recording with Devin Townsend with Casualties of Cool, recording with Andrew Luke Oldham, Bob Rock, and David Foster. We also talk about her dog Rufus and a whole bunch of other things. Give her a follow on Instagram at CheAimeeDorval. So enjoy Aimee Dorval, Performance Anxiety.
This is Aimee Dorval, and you're listening to Performance Anxiety. What?
Oh, technology.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for doing this.
Oh, man. No, I should be thanking you. I really appreciate the time. And I'm actually a little bit annoyed because I had something I was going to do, and it didn't work out. And I'll tell you exactly what it was. I have. All right, so I started that out wrong. I found these potato chips.
Yes.
And I'm not the biggest potato chip fan, but I found these and I love them. And they're Ruffles all dressed.
Oh my.
And when I pick up the bag, every time I pick one up, on there it says Canada's favorite flavor.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, it's called all dressed, and it's like a salty, sweet, tangy flavor. It's fantastic. But it claims, it's got a big old maple leaf on there, and it claims to be Canada's #1 flavor. And I was going to ask, since you're Canadian, is it?
No, they're lying. They're lying.
Oh man,
bullshit.
Well, the thing is, I started like, oh, this will be a funny gag at the beginning of the show, because the show's supposed to be kind of humor. It's kind of funny. I don't get into politics. I don't get into anything controversial. I just want to know funny stories from what you do for a living. And so I figured, all right, this would be great. I got to start off with a joke. And I couldn't find it. And the more I started searching for it, the more I wanted them. And I couldn't find it. And I'm sitting there. My wife called me and she's like, where are you? You got to be here pretty soon for the show. I'm like, I know. She's like, why are you yelling at me? I can't find these damn potato chips.
Maybe it's all a ruse. Maybe Canada's just fucking with you.
Maybe, well, it wouldn't be the first time.
No,
Canada has something out for me, apparently. So
I'm going to send you some. Don't worry, I know where to find them.
See, and that's funny. You've never even heard of them, and they claim to be Canada's #1 flavor.
Sorry, I'm moving around because it's hot as balls out there.
Really?
Oh
man, it's actually nice here. We're supposed to get some pretty serious heat early next week, but like 105 on Tuesday.
Celsius.
I have no. See, I'm American. I don't know that stuff. Well, I should know it. Makes more sense.
No,
but
does it? Oh, it does. It does make.
It does because things freeze at 0 and they boil at 100, right?
Yeah,
and that's all I know. So
were you guys just trying to be different, or?
we were pretty much just assholes all the time. So that kind of falls in line with everything. But all right. So the first time I heard you was on Devin Townsend's album Key.
Yeah.
The song Train Fire. And I'm listening to it. I remember I've always loved Devin Townsend. The first time I heard him was in '93, I think, on Steve Vai's album where he was vocal. So I followed him ever since. And and he came out with Key, listening to Train Fire, and it's got this cool rockabilly beat, and then all of a sudden it stops and goes into this super chill mode, and then I hear this voice.
You called my name, left on a weary road beyond your way.
And I'm like, wow, who is that? That's not Devin. Who the hell is that? And if I remember right, on the credits, you're just listed as Shay.
Am I really?
Yeah, I don't think it has your name. In fact, right now you can kind of settle for, in my mind, how do you actually pronounce your name? Because I grew up with a young lady who spelled her first name the way you spell your middle name. She pronounced it Aimee. I have a friend. Okay, because I have a friend now who spells it the same way, but pronounces it Aimee.
Oh, I hate the Aimees. I love Aimees. I love Aimees everywhere.
But not the way you spell it.
No, yeah. It's actually, apparently it's supposed to be pronounced Aimee if there's an accent on, I think, the first E.
Okay.
And so when the accent isn't there, it's Aimee. But I already had an accent in my first name, and that just would have been
There's too many accents. All right, and your last name, is it Dorval or is it Dorval, or how do I pronounce you correctly?
I'm not even quite sure. I think it's Dorval.
How long have you had this last name?
I know, right? My whole family says it differently. I say Dorval. It's an airport, so I feel like, I don't know, you can feel how they say it, the airport employees, and that's probably how it's done.
All right, well, I'm going to go with you since it's your last name. I'm going to go with your preference. So, well, anyway, so I heard your voice, and Devin's credits didn't help me at all. So I'm like, so I'm sitting there going, all right, I got to figure this out. I don't know how to figure this out. And then a couple of years later, Casualties of Cool came out, and I went, that's it. It. So my question is, how did you end up on Devin's Key album in the first place?
How did I end up? I think I was working with, Dave Young was teaching me guitar.
Ah, Devin's guitarist.
Yeah, Devin's guitarist. And Devin was looking for just sort of like a smooth, sort of dark female vocal. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure, I feel like he was lazy about finding one because it's like the first choice. But it worked out.
Yeah.
And so I just went over to Dave's basement and sang. They set up this recording booth, which was essentially this like couch turned up on its side, and then they put pillows all around it.
This sounds like more of a porn set.
It did seem like a porn set. I was a little afraid but everything was fine.
All right, good.
I just sang into a couch and we became best friends.
It all worked out in the end. Thank you, Shay. It's been a great time interviewing you. So then a couple of years later, Casualties of Cool comes out, and it's a complete departure from just about everything else I've heard from Devin. And you play a huge role in that album. And how did that start? Was he just sending you stuff to listen to with this idea in his head because he liked what you'd done? Yeah,
so I guess he was staying up late and writing sort of like old Johnny Cash style riffs. And he had this idea of creating this sort of like spacious, ambient, like horror folk sort of thing. I think he just wanted a really melancholy record, and I'm like pretty depressing. So he called me up, and then he had two songs that were just, he would send me these songs that were like pretty vast, and they were more of ideas. There'd be some humming on it, and just mostly like layered guitars and sort of a bit of a drum beat, and then he'd just send it to me and be like, do what you will. And then I
some good direction.
Suicide. It was great.
There you go.
Do late at night.
You guys didn't even meet when you did the album. Was that correct? You guys did it kind of over the internet.
We did it over the internet. We met before for the couch session, the weird porn couch session. And then we kept in touch, and I think we went out for like maybe a couple coffees here and there, but we really hadn't spent much time together. And then he called me up for this project, and we just started, just bouncing songs over email, which was really freeing because it didn't really feel like there was anyone over your back sort of judging. Not that he ever would, but it's vulnerable writing a song with like a person in the same room. It's scary, you know?
Yeah.
And so we both felt free enough to just do whatever. And we did that for maybe 6 months for the first like 7 songs. How many songs are on that?
Oh my gosh. There's a ton, because there's a 2-album set, two CDs version. And so there's like 24 songs total, I think. Plus a couple that I've tracked down on YouTube that were USB only. So I guess.
Which ones are those?
Thing, and I don't remember the other one. I'd have to look it up, but I know Thing was one. And it's funny because I remember when, I guess you did was it a Pledge Music or Kickstarter type of deal with that? And if you pledged a certain amount, you could get a thumb drive with some unreleased tracks.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I'm flat broke, and I always am, and I'm pretty sure I always will be. And so I can't do a whole lot of those, and I really wanted those, and somebody put them online. So yay me, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'm so sorry to everyone who bought the thumb drive, hard drive. Oops.
Yeah, sorry.
You got to hear it.
All you had to do was wait like 4 years, and then you get it off YouTube. But your voice is very unique, and I wanted to find out, how did you start in music, and what were you? What are your influences? I guess that's the best question.
What trained me up?
Yeah. What were you doing as a kid? What were you listening to as a kid that influenced you and maybe influenced the style and how you sing and write now?
Yeah, that's fair. It's funny, all the stuff I listened to as a kid, like none of it is reflected in the stuff that I put out, which, I mean, would love it to be, because I love those bands. But it's like my mom, it was really, the stuff that shaped me as a kid was my mom's cleaning music.
Okay.
So like mornings, she'd put on the stereo and blast like the same 6 albums on repeat, like just over and over again. And I essentially like learned to sing from those. So it was, they're so like typical too. It was Fleetwood Mac's big album. What was it called?
Rumors.
Yeah. It was ABBA. ABBA's like not even just one of their albums. It was like ABBA greatest hits.
You so far, your mom sounds exactly like my mom.
Right? Yeah, exactly. What else? There was Queen's greatest hits, which I stand by. I think they're probably the greatest band in the world.
Okay.
Or were. What else? And a lot of like Neil Young and a lot of Carly Simon and all of that sort of stuff. But the stuff that actually shaped what I'm doing now was I got into in high school. Okay. And it was more like alternative, really sort of like lo-fi, depressing, sick, very sad teenage girl.
Something a theme here.
Yeah.
A little bit of a depressing theme, but.
Oh God. But I laugh so much.
Well, you're already doing it now, so that's good.
Right? I don't know. So I got really into Cat Power. She was my heart.
Yep.
Still is for a long time. Who else? Oh, Jason Molina, from Songs Ohio and Magnolia Electric Company.
No, I know Ralph Molina, but he's in Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse. How do I know that?
Neil Young.
Oh, yes.
Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Interesting. Yeah.
Love Neil Young. I'm a huge Neil Young fan.
Me too. How can you not be? Who are those people?
Well, that would be my dad. But my dad, my dad's more of he likes bluegrass and old country, and 50s, 60s doo-wop stuff like that. That's what he sticks with. He doesn't like the Beatles. He doesn't like the Stones. So he's not even one of those people that like, are you a Beatles guy or a Stones guy? He's neither. He's like he's like the one person on the planet that doesn't like either. So he's
interesting.
My dad's he's a very interesting guy. Love him to death, but he's not real. He's adventurous in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Music is not one of them.
Oh, man.
So
I almost wish I wasn't interested in music.
Oh, you know what? Me too, because I've got in the room directly across from where I'm recording this, I've got about 3,000 CDs in boxes right now. Yeah, I'm a big. Well, and that's why I don't have any money now.
Yeah.
Well,
me too, but they're all my CDs.
So that gives me a great story. So I'm sitting there and I figured out who you were, and had the Casualties are cool, had Devin's album, and went around looking for more material by you. And I sitting there and I'm like, all right, what's the best place to look? Well, Amazon. Yeah. So I'm like, all right. So I look you up on Amazon, and your first album, Underachiever.
Yeah.
The fading kind, and with it I will fade away.
They had it on there, but it was $45.
What?
Yeah. So I shot you an email. And you may not remember this, but I shot you an email and I'm like, hey, I've heard you on Devin Townsend's records. I see you have an album. Do you sell it on your own? Because it's on Amazon, but it's $45 and I can't afford that. And you replied and you said, I'll just send it to you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, if you're going to be that nice, can I get it signed? And you're like, yeah, no problem. So not only did you send me, and this was around Christmas time, so not only did you send me your first album, Underachiever, signed Merry Christmas, you also sent me your EP, and you signed it, You're the Tits.
Oh, yeah.
And I went, holy crap, this lady's awesome. So that's why when I decided to do this show, you were one of the first people I contacted. I said, I got to have you on because I knew you'd be a lot of fun to talk to.
Thanks. That makes me feel good.
Oh, good. No more depression.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's forever. Okay. It's done. So I wanted to personally thank you for those awesome signed albums. First of all, you didn't have to send them to me for free, which I appreciated, but you also didn't have to sign them and just make me crack up. But you did.
Thanks for wanting them. Thank you.
Oh, gosh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And I did actually purchase your new album. So I'm waiting for that to arrive, but I do have the download. I'm listening to that every day, and I highly recommend it because it's different. I can definitely feel a progression from your first album in your songwriting. It's much more of a, I don't want to say band album, but it sounds like it's more focused on the whole aspect of having a band and less on I've got to add a band to it.
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt when I was making it.
The whole way home through the torches, dress me up in
Damn, I'm good.
You're so good.
Holy shit! Somebody should pay me for this crap. I swear.
No.
But
no, it was and I was older, or I am older. It was when I did the first one. That was in I think 2008.
Yeah, I think so. You would know better than me, but
oh wow, that's a stretch of time.
10 years now.
Yeah, so I feel like back then. I still am trying to sort of find my footing and my sound, but I was also really like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Like, what do you think? And sort of giving it up to other people. And now I still do that to some extent, but not as much. I kind of have a bit of a sense of who I am, sort of.
Well, you sound like, you're figuring out your sound, and it sounds like you're a lot more confident in your new album than in your first album. So way to go.
Thanks, man.
So, and you've done some pretty interesting covers also. You post them on YouTube a lot, but you also have your EP where you do, I take that back. This one's online too. You do a cover of Black Sabbath's Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
And it is so chill. I love it.
Nobody wants it.
I play it for everybody, and they're like, that is so awesome. Who is that? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but it's Aimee Dorval.
You are.
Yeah. How did the covers come about? Because, I mean, you do a wide variety. I mean, you do Black Sabbath, you've done Roger Miller, Nick Drake. I mean, how do you decide what you want to do, and how hard is it? Do you have to get permission before you can release those things, or
I don't know, man.
Do you want me to edit that after you answer it?
Yeah, maybe we probably. I will say probably I'm supposed to get permission. Certainly haven't on most of them. But the Widow, the Mars Volta one, it went through my label. So I think they dotted the I's and crossed the T's.
We'll go with that. Well, that sounds good. But you do a great cover of Old Toy Trains for Christmas that I loved. That was really nice.
That's my favorite. That's my family Christmas song. We used to it was that and then Puff the Magic Dragon at Christmas. I don't know why.
I never thought of that as a Christmas tune, but you may have to release that one this year. That would be fantastic.
I might. It's a good song. Every time. I just picked them. They're just sort of like little pieces of my history and my past. So there was the Toy Trains one. Oh, the Iron Man one. I was working with Andrew Luke Oldham, which was the...
Wow.
Yeah, super random. Random.
Yeah, Stones.
Yeah, the Stones. I mean, so
that band my dad doesn't like.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess him and his partner wanted a cover of that, and there were a bunch of us working sort of in that production facility. It was like a little family at the time.
Okay.
And yeah, me and this guy Bryce Tavish, who's an amazing guitar player, concocted that version and just thought nothing of it and just put it out there. That's kind of how I put out everything.
Well, I will tell you, if Andrew Luke Oldham is involved, they probably dotted their I's and crossed their T's too. So we'll go with that. So.
I think that one's good. I think Old Toy Trains, I'm screwed. They're definitely me.
I don't know if Roger Miller's coming after you though.
I hope not.
That would be scary.
It'd be so. Isn't he dead?
A big fat dead guy coming after you. That'd be pretty rough.
Kind of cool.
And all right, so you're embarking on a tour soon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my first question about that is: have you found a place close to DC yet?
Well, I'm playing Philly, and that is as close to DC as I can get for magical reason. I don't know. DC, of all places in America, has been the hardest place to book. Is that normal?
I don't know. I've never tried to book anything there. Nobody wants to hear me sing, so I can't really tell you.
Yeah, so no, not yet. And it's crazy how the visas work out. From Canada, America sort of thing. You need to find out where you're playing 4 months ahead of time and put in all the paperwork, and it costs so much money and you're not even guaranteed the visa. They might reject you on some ridiculous, who knows if I'll do this tour.
Oh, no.
I'll do it. But even if I have to do it illegally, you're going to edit that out.
Yes. Of course. No,
probably not. Probably not. Whatever. Yeah.
You know what? It's not going to air for a few weeks.
Okay. Well, then that's good. I'll already have gotten the visa, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't matter. Moot point. Doesn't matter.
It's just so strange the way they work it. Booking a show, generally venues want you to do it a couple months in advance. And so no one there's a lot of holds. This is not interesting, by the way. I'm just
see, to you it's not. But to me it is.
Much. Okay, yeah. So you put a hold on a venue, and then they want to confirm it maybe a month and a half before the actual date.
Okay.
But the visa office needs you to confirm it 4 months, early. And so it's this weird, time loop from hell that it's making me crazy.
It sounds like it. That's typical government stuff. So.
Oh, exactly.
So you're touring as a solo artist right now. You're not going to have a band with you for this tour, correct?
Just me.
Wow. Vulnerable.
Super vulnerable. Very.
Not depressed anymore, though. So.
God.
Did you do a lot of touring for the Casualties of Cool album?
No, we just did we did big shows here and there, which was lovely. If I could do all of my shows like that, that's what I would do. I didn't even know how this happened. We had a show in London at the Union Chapel Theatre.
I did see that one on YouTube.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we had a show in Helsinki, and then we had a festival gig in the UK. And I think that was our tour. DJ tour. But we also, for that 3-day tour, had a huge tour bus that made no sense at all.
The world of Devin Townsend strikes again.
Yeah, it was great. He's the best friend to have.
No kidding. So how does that differ from touring on your own? Obviously besides the tour bus, the setup is different. I guess you've got to arrange everything yourself.
Yeah. So I guess arranging everything myself. Well, when I book in the UK, I usually have someone do that for me. But okay. I decided to tackle America on my own.
Well, that seems like a good idea.
Great idea we had. So yeah, I set up all the dates, and I've got to figure out how to get places, and then where to sleep.
Oh wow!
And I've been thinking about couch surfing. I feel like that's not dangerous at all.
No, not. You already hung out at Dave Young's basement, so it can't be any worse than that. No. So yeah, and then the setup on stage, it's just me, but it's got this whole looping system, so I don't feel so alone up here. And it's starting to sound pretty good, but it's fucking scary, because if you hit the wrong button, if you start something a little bit too soon, you're fucked for a whole song. But keep on your toes. Well, see, there you go. So you don't get bored.
No.
So how long of a set do you normally play? How many songs, and how long does it normally last?
Well, for this one, I'm probably 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, cool.
With a lot of awkward banter in the middle, just to fill space.
That's what I like. What I like. So do you switch up the songs a lot, or do you pretty much play the same set every night?
No, or yes, I do. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm good on my toes. Is that the expression? Good on your toes?
Yeah. Fast on your feet.
Fast on your feet. Whatever. Yeah, not any of those things. So same set every night, and then it's stuff from Casualties, and then my own stuff, and then I think I'm gonna throw in a couple Roach songs, Roach is a project I'm doing with Bob Rock that hasn't come out yet, but it's coming.
That's awesome. I'm definitely interested in hearing that. How did you get hooked up with Bob Rock?
Such a weird way.
See, this is why I love doing this show, because these are the stories that I want to hear, the really weird stories.
Yeah, they're just convoluted. You'd never really expect it. So I guess Devin introduced me to this guy, Matthias Eklund, and he he's awesome. Yeah. So we've become friends, and he gave me all of his tune tracks and Superior Drummer and all of those things, so I could write, and they're amazing. And then to say thank you, when he was in Vancouver tracking with Bob, I didn't know that at the time. I took him out for dinner, and so before dinner, I stopped by the studio, and I had no idea what he was doing there. I just thought I was picking him up and then leaving. And then all of a sudden, Bob Rock strolls into the room. And I was what the fuck? What is this? And then, I remember our first meeting was so strange, because I must have been PMSing or something. But I was looking at this reel-to-reel tape machine in the corner of the room, and I was just looking at it because it was super old. It was vintage. Well, I mean, they are, but old, and it was huge, and I hadn't seen one in that condition or that majestic. And then Bob was like, "Do you know what that is?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "It's a reel-to-reel. It's a tape machine." And I was like, "I know." The whole time. The whole time at dinner, I was just like, "Oh, he just said that because I'm a girl. Like, this is ridiculous." And then I got an email the next day that was from Matthias that was like, "Bob heard your casualty stuff and like really, really loved it, and he wants to know if you want to like co-write some songs." And I was like, "Yes!" And then I emailed with him back and forth, and he was like the nicest man in the world. So 100%, he wasn't razzing me about a tape machine, and I was just being a total bitch.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, yeah, I can see how that was a little awkward, but But
we're good friends now, so it's all good.
that's he's a good friend to have.
Yeah, he definitely is. We actually write some like beautiful things together. I'm excited to actually release them to the world. It's unlike anything I've done. It's sort of a bit more. There's a bit more pop in it, but not the annoying kind that makes you want to kill yourself. You know? Well,
that's good because we've got enough depression already in this interview. So
there'll be more.
Okay.
What about you? Do we do that? Is that a thing that we can do?
We can do
it. All
right. This is the most professional interview you have ever done, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, probably. I think the least crazy, so that's nice.
Least, I mean, I was going for most because that's what this whole thing's about. Damn it.
It'll
I just got to do more of them.
Ask questions about you.
Okay, go ahead. Shoot.
Then we'll go back. So You're in Virginia.
Yes, I am. Yes.
I know nothing about Virginia. I don't even really know.
You don't even know if Virginia is a real place.
Yeah. I have a question, and this is random. Do you have horses or access to horses?
I know where I can get to some horses. In fact, down about 20 to 30 minutes from where I live is a little place called Middleburg and Upperville. And they have some of the most incredible horses in the world. There's so much money in those two areas that it's actually world renowned for the horses they breed there. So that's
crazy. Okay, well, that's great. Am I going to swing through there on my tour?
Let's see. Where are you going to be before Philadelphia?
New York.
Where after Philadelphia?
I think it's Columbus or Pittsburgh.
You actually might swing close to where I'm in Winchester. It'd be like a half an hour out of your way to go to Middleburg and Upperville. But
there'll be you, and then there'll be horses as well.
Exactly.
Sweet. Today we're going to go horseback riding.
Excellent. All right. All right.
That's one of the ticks of my summer. It's a summer plan. Whatever.
Perfect. We'll do it. All right. So what's the next question? Or is that it?
No, there's more. That one was random. I wasn't like waiting with bated breath to ask you.
I gotta ask him this.
Okay, so you live with your wife in a home?
Yes.
Like a house?
Yep. And
how much houses over there?
How much? Yeah. In the area where I live, anywhere from 200,000 and up. You could probably even get one a little less, but my house is like 50 years old. So
that's crazy. That's not old. So I wouldn't consider that old.
Well, it's old in this area. I mean, in here you have houses that are like 200 years old.
Yeah.
Or brand new.
Oh, so, no. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. And so I'm in an area that it's an older neighborhood, a lot of old people that are slowly dying off. So
love them.
Oh yeah. It's a nice and quiet area, except for when my dog goes on the back deck and he goes ape shit for everything.
Oh, buddy.
So speaking of dogs, I know you've got a really cute dog. What kind of dog is he?
Yeah. He's a German Shepherd, Roddy Lab. He's just a mutt. We're not really sure what he is.
What's his name?
It's Rufus.
Rufus. That's a great name.
good name. It's after Rufus Wainwright.
Oh, there you go. Not Shaka Khan?
No, man.
Not the Shaka Khan Rufus?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea who that is. I was going to act.
You don't know Shaka Khan?
I know Shaka Khan, but where does Rufus fit in?
That was her first band before she struck out and became just Shaka Khan. You know this song, Tell Me Something Good?
Yeah.
That's Rufus.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I feel dumb.
This is educational. This show is educational. Look at that.
It is educational. Hey, so I guess I like Van Rufus.
What do you do with Rufus when you're on tour?
My lovely fella, he takes care of everything. Really stressful for him, but he does a great job. Good. But he's actually coming on this tour, so I think Rufus is going to go with the parents, the grandparents.
Okay. I was going to say, if you guys bring Rufus, he can meet my dog. So.
Oh my God, that would be great. He's such an asshole on a plane, though. He would ruin the plane.
Well, my dog's an asshole in my house, so they might get along great.
Probably.
So that's all right. So in one of your songs, you mentioned taking the fifth.
Oh yeah.
But there's no Fifth Amendment in Canada. I
know. You know what? I also say miles.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I didn't even think of that.
No. I'm very confused. Like I'm a confused lady who just doesn't respond to boundaries of any sort.
Man, well, here for the people listening, then, all right. So there's no equivalent to the Fifth Amendment in Canada. However, a witness who is compelled to testify is protected under Section 13 of the Charter of Rights and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms from having any incriminating statements used to incriminate that witness in any other proceedings.
Ooh,
so
that's great. Good to know.
So next time, instead of singing about the fifth, you can sing about Section 13 of the Charter. And kilometers. I don't know how well those will rhyme.
It'll be great. I'm going to put that into a song.
Your equipment. How technical are you? Are you a gearhead with your rig, or do you just kind of find one thing and stick with it? You always collecting pedals, or?
I think I got that from Devin. It kind of rubs off on you. Yeah. I'm definitely a gear whore, but I don't know quite how to use any of it. So
sounds familiar.
It's fun. Yeah, it's definitely sort of experimentation always. And right now I'm sticking with something because it's just so easy. And then I've got a couple like Dunlop like MXR pedals that I love, so I can't let go of them.
Oh yeah.
So I've got that. I've got like the Echoplex from MXR, and it's amazing. Yeah. And then the Axe 8.
I'm not familiar with that one.
What is it? Axe 8 Fractal.
Oh,
it's like, yeah, it's like everything you need in just this one super simple box.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've pretty much like given away most of my pedals for this.
Wow.
Just touring easier, but in that one pedal, it's like you can change and craft every element of any sound. So it's just this whole universe of confusion in this little simple box. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. It's really fun, but crazy. Like you definitely lose yourself in it.
Oh, I could absolutely do that. I've got a very limited amount of pedals for my guitar, and I get lost in it for hours, and I've got like 4 pedals. So.
Right? Yeah.
So, but the one thing I did get after years and years of trying to figure this out is an Alesis Quadraverb preamp. And when I was in college, my favorite album was Verve's Northern Soul. A Storm in Heaven. Northern Soul was the second, but Verve's very first album, and their guitarist Nick McCabe had this shimmery, swirly liquid sound in his guitar, and I spent years trying to figure out how to do it. And then Facebook came along, and I shot him a question because they would come on every once in a while and say, "Hey, we're online, shoot us some questions." And I said, what do you use to get the sound on Storm in Heaven? Oh, Oasis Quadriverb.
What?
And at the time, when it was new, it was like a $300-400 preamp. It's on eBay now for like $60. So
Holy shit!
Yeah, so I bought one. Now I can sound like one of my guitar idols.
That's so exciting.
But I can't play I can't play like him, but I can make noises like him.
Exactly, and that's all that matters.
Yeah,
it's all just noise anyways, right?
I'm not going on tour. It makes me happy, so.
Oh, I am. I should probably get better at the guitar.
Well, if you can hang with Devin, if Devin's willing to hang out with you, you're probably doing all right. And if Dave's teaching you,
yeah,
I think you're probably doing better than I am.
I think I had maybe 2 lessons with Dave and then started hanging out. It was like, I'm not going to practice. So maybe we should be friends.
Get me on a couple albums. Do you ever, you ever just let loose and pull out some old thrash metal or something and
scream?
Yeah.
I feel like I have, but I can't. Let me think. No, man. I think my equivalent it's like putting on Rent and then
okay.
A full soundtrack to Rent.
Oh man,
it's the same.
So no Testament or Megadeth or anything like that.
No, just Cat and Rent and
yeah, same. Like you said, same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
So are you going to be you and Devin doing any more Casualties of Cool? I heard a rumor that there's some more Casualties of Cool stuff coming.
Yeah, there is. We're both very slow and we're both very busy. He's always busy and I've just started to get really busy. So we have a couple songs we're sort of bashing back and forth right now. It's really nice that he's not touring right now, so we can actually devote some time to starting/finishing this record. But yeah, it's happening.
That's awesome. Well, the first album was so amazing. I mean, it went from like Mountaintop and Daddy to I don't even know how to pronounce half. There's that one. Yeah. Yes. That one.
I've never seen it. So.
And then Perspective and some. There's just some amazing stuff. So I love hearing the two of you play off each other. So I'm excited to hear anything that comes between you two guys. So speaking of that, when you're in the studio, you work not working with Devin, because I don't want this whole interview to be about you and Devin. So, how much of your work do you have figured out before you get into the studio, and how much is worked out while you're recording?
Well, for all of my solo stuff, that whole album, I demoed everything at home first. So all of the vocals were figured out. Most of the guitars, but I don't know, there were some that weren't. So yeah, for my solo stuff, I figured pretty much everything out beforehand. And then when I get into the studio, my producer, Sean F. Cole, he's great. He sort of puts his sort of artistic take on it, and then the musicians come in and they put their take on it. But at the beginning, it is sort of like a fully fledged thing. And then with Roach, we do the same thing that me and Dev do. He sends some things and then I chop them up and sing on them, or I send some things and he puts guitar on it. And then we go into the studio with sort of an idea of what's going on, and then I do whatever feels good.
Okay. Yeah. I also saw that speaking with working with Andrew Luke Oldham and Bob Rock, you also worked with David Foster.
Yeah.
How did that happen? And what work was that? Because
that was
I'll tell you right now, if you haven't figured this out, talking to me, when I find somebody I like, I'm a completist, and I will go and try to hunt down everything you've been on. So how did this? What did you do with David Foster, and how can I find it?
Oh, you can never find it.
Oh,
no. So when was this? This was a long time ago, and I just I think I'd just gotten back from Europe, and it was after high school, and I was like, okay, Jay, you've got to now figure out what you're going to do with your life. And that was terrifying. So I just I half-assed did music for a long time.
Okay.
I just said I was a musician, and then I didn't really do it. But because of that, my mom, who is amazing and she's always been really supportive, was just like, at that point just like fed up. So she signs me up for this for this like Star Search contest.
Oh.
And yeah, which is like, it's never been my thing. I'm not I don't like to compete, and I don't know. I don't like to compete. Maybe that's what it is. But so I wasn't doing anything. So I did it, and then I won it, which was great.
Awesome.
Which was very surprising. Very, very surprising. And so I don't think I was really ready for like what that meant and what sort of that section of the music industry was. But basically it was his Star Search competition. And the prize was to go to LA and to write a song with Cara what's her last name? Diaguardi? Cara Diaguardi?
Oh, yeah. She was like an American Idol or something.
Yeah. She was, I think she was. So her, and then this guy, Greg Wells, he's so great. He actually worked with Rufus Wainwright, which I was like astounded by.
And it all comes full circle.
I know, right? And then, so I did that. And then there was a contract and a bunch of things to do with David Foster and like in that world. But it was basically going to be like, I wouldn't really have the right to my own choices. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wouldn't really have a choice of like songs or like my look or like any, which stressed me out.
Well, yeah. That makes total sense.
Yeah. So I just didn't do it.
So you won Star Search / American Idol and then decided I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's
which I stand by. For me personally, it's not my thing.
I'll give you credit because I don't think there's a whole lot of people that would do that, because they would look at that as, all right, this is where it starts. Boom. And you stuck with your ideals and wanted to do things that you wanted to do. So
yeah. And it's like, thanks. I mean, I definitely took the poor route for sure.
I've done the same thing and I didn't win any damn contests. So.
Yeah. But whatever. I mean, it's like a happy poor route with like suicidal jokes.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, what's better than that?
I think it's great.
So.
Yeah. That's that story.
So, all right. I've only got a couple more questions. I'll let you go. I've kept you for almost not quite an hour yet, but do you write all the time, or do you sit down and focus when you want to do an album?
I think I write all the time, but that's spottily. Like songs throughout a year, at the end of the year, I'll have 20 songs, but it's not because I sat down and really made it happen. It just so happens that, they came out of nowhere. I don't even remember doing this. The other day, I was looking at my weird loop pedal, and it has a bunch of different tracks. And there was one track with a loaded song on it. And I was like, what's this? And I played it, and it was something I wrote, I guess, at some point this year. But I'm it's pretty good, but I can't remember doing it.
Oh, wow.
That happens a lot. Yeah, and then at the end of when I have 20 songs, I'm like, well, I guess I should put out an album, and then that's
Hey, there you go. Stumble upon an album. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm changing it this year, though. I'm doing it with intention. I feel like I should just have a system and have a routine and sort of see what that and how that serves me. I feel like that would be kind of healthy, maybe.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a
plan.
Yeah, you know, if you haven't done it before, you're not going to know if it works for you.
Yeah. So I feel like it might be cool.
All right. So what are you listening to now that I might find surprising? If I will go through your I don't even know what the hell people listen to shit on anymore. Sure. If I go through your music, what am I going to find that's surprising to me?
All right. What am I listening to? Oh, so I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar because he's fucking awesome. And then what else? Anne Brune I just discovered, which isn't surprising. it would make sense that I would listen to her.
Yeah.
But who else? Oh, do you remember Chivo Matto?
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's cool.
I got into like a Dixie Chicks kick just because of my mom used to listen to them a lot.
That's one of the mom albums, huh?
Yeah, but I love them, and they make me cry. Oh yeah, and then like a lot of A Tribe Called Quest and like Handsome Boy Modeling School. Have you ever heard?
Yes. I've definitely heard of them.
So fucking good. Have you? Oh, sorry, one more.
Yeah.
Have you? No one's ever heard of this, and it's a Christmas album, and it's the best one ever made. Ever.
Okay.
And it's by John Anderson. It's called Three Ships.
I have it.
Do you have it?
I have it. I can go into my other room and pull it out right now.
Yeah.
I have it on CD.
It's so good. How is it not everywhere?
I was surprised. It's funny because I mean the cover art looks like a Roger Dean Yes album, and it's funny because I don't know, did you download it? Do you have the actual album or?
It's on Spotify, but the cover's on it.
It's so 80s. It's so 80s Yes looking.
It looks like it kind of looks like a spaceshipy kind of.
Yeah, it's like three little spaceships, and then if you turn it around, it's got John on the back with that like almost like a Michael Jackson or a Wham kind of white jacket and the little squiggly line things that they put on everything back then. I don't know, but I'll tell you a funny story. I do another show, and it's so if anybody's listening to this ever, I'm going to end up pimping my other show. It's a sports show. It's called 8 Ball Sports, and it's really funny. It's even more comedic than this interview has been. It's basically comedy with a little bit of sports, and I have two of my really good buddies on it, and one's a guy named Tommy Caprio. He's a producer for Comedy Central. If you ever watched Jim Jeffries' show on Comedy Central, he produces that. Have you ever watched Workaholics on Comedy Central? He produced that too.
Wow.
And the other guy is a guy named Eric Rosenbaum. You ever watch the show Smallville about Superman? Yeah. Well, his brother played Lex Luthor.
Oh, weird.
So the three of us get together. They're in LA. I'm in Virginia. We do it like we do this. Yeah. And we have I made some pretty interesting contacts through trying to get interviews. And one is this PR firm out of North Carolina called French West Vaughn. And the owner is a guy named Rick French. The guy I made contact with there set me up with Rick one day and just to chat. He'd been giving us interviews and with some athletes and some people behind the scenes. A really cool place called Sure Sports Lending that does loans for athletes. Because I don't know if you know this, but between the time an athlete is drafted and the time the season starts, they don't get paid. And so,
really,
how long? It could be months. And they're not going to go flipping burgers at McDonald's, so they'll go and get a loan based on the guarantees in their contract. So everybody, check out Sure Sports Lending. So anyway, we would get people like that, and a couple of years ago, the Major League Baseball winter meetings were in D.C. And this guy Jack, who I was getting all my contacts from, said, "Hey, you got to meet up with Rick, the boss of this place. He's a great guy, and I want you to meet him." All right, so we meet up, and he apparently, not only does he own this PR firm, he's also part owner of a minor league baseball team, the Daytona Tortugas, and he sits on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Board of Trustees and the nomination committee. So Rick and I hit it off like that, and it turns out he's a great friend with all the guys in Yes. What? And he's been pushing for them to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for years, and they finally got it. And he was the one who got to call them and say, "Hey, you guys made it finally."
Oh my God!
So
that warms the heart, huh?
Yeah, it's awesome. So, cool. And it's funny because when he got onto the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he got on because they were getting rid of the artists that were on the board because they were touring, recording. They weren't really promoting the hall, so they made a whole big change and got rid of those guys. Rick. Long story, really short. Rick met up with one of the guys who's on the board. He put Rick's name in for nomination as they were doing this. Rick was kind of a long shot to make it, but he did. And so he said, "All right, well, whose seat did I take on the board?" And I goes, "Oh, Eric Clapton's." Whoa. So, like, you will have like two people that's ever replaced Eric Clapton in anything. You and Jeff Beck.
Whoa, hey, so, and pretty cool club.
The great thing about Rick is he's the nicest guy on the planet. I can right now. I can send him a text and he'll be like, "Oh no, hey, what's going on, buddy? What's how you doing? What's going on with the new show?" And he's just the sweetest guy ever. So I'm really happy for his success. But your John Anderson made me think of that. So
that's really beautiful. I like that.
Oh, I'm glad.
I want to be a part of that club. I want to replace somebody cool.
Oh, me too. We'll do it. We'll have to work on it. We'll have to figure it out. We can brainstorm.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, well, Shay, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. This is Performance Anxiety.
I tried to dance with some guy at Nom this year in the lobby.
Really?
They were like, it just seemed like a good idea. Not the point, but yeah, I've got some friends with stories. Here it comes.
Should I not look?
Just don't look. Cover your eyes. Thank you very much. Oh God, don't laugh.
Okay, here, have that.
Okay. This is Aimee Dorval, and you're one more time. How is this the hardest part?